So you may be wondering how I broke through here in LA 6 years ago as a musician from Germany, and I can sustain myself and live a comfortable life out here. Well, today I'm going to tell you exactly how I did it. I got 5 tips for you guys. If you want to relocate, if you want to start a new business or a new career, this is for you. My name is Kevin Andre. I'm a touring keyboarder and producer out here in Los Angeles. From Germany originally. Ja, ich spreche flüssig Deutsch oder auch nicht. Let's jump right into it. Tip number 1, earn enough money to sustain yourself. Yo, when I first came here, I did not have a job. I did not know people. So it was very important for me to live out here by any means possible. When I say that, you gotta have a job to sustain yourself, because the music business and every career in general just takes time. You're not going to be where you want to be right away, right? Especially in the music business. So I knew from the beginning I need to have any kind of job so I can sustain myself here for the long term. And after that, I can piece by piece build up my career where I really want to go. So that was number 1. I worked at restaurants. I worked at a music school. I worked at like a music shop. I worked many different small jobs, right? Only minimum wage. I did not earn a lot of money. Let me tell you this. I can only pay my rent and for food. So that was like the hardest part. I did that for 3 years in total. So be aware that LA is super expensive and you definitely need a job to sustain yourself. Do not come here with a dream and think you're going to get picked up right away. It doesn't work that way, right? You got to get to know the right people. You got to get into the business, and that means exposure and time in this industry, but also in the city itself, right? Sustain yourself through any means possible. Don't be afraid to take a job that maybe it's not up your alley. Maybe it's not a job you ultimately want to go into. I did restaurant jobs and stuff like that, right? So you gotta be able to do that, and don't be too proud. You know what I mean? This is just the beginning. You're just starting out. This is not defining you as a person. Tip number 2, which is kind of tip number 1, live below your means. We all see the crazy cars, crazy apartments, everything, right? We really want to have that, especially when we're out here in LA, right? We want to go to the craziest restaurants. We want to have like the craziest instruments and everything, right? Don't get blinded by all these things, because those things will come in due time, right? Not right away, not in the very beginning, unless you're rich yourself. I mean, like if you're rich, sure, you can bypass all of that, but we're not rich. We're starting out. So be aware of that. Live below your means. Try to like keep your expenses low at first for the first year, 2 years. Depends on how long it takes for you, right? In total, it took about, I would say 3 years for me until I really earned good money where I can afford a little bit more. You know what I mean? And really watch out for that lifestyle inflation. That can happen super fast, right? Especially if you got like a new tour or something, right? That tour is only going to last for a couple months, but you think you need that new handbag. You know what I mean? I'm guilty of that too. I bought a new suit. You know what I mean? Like stuff like that. You get into the habit of spending money, which can be a detriment. So really be aware of that. Live below your means. Save that money. Be investment savvy. You know what I mean? Be savvy with saving your money and like allocating it in the right direction. So now we're getting to the juicy parts. Tip number 3, what I did when I first came out here. I started that actually from the very beginning too. I reached out to people. Now, reaching out to people it's integral to any kind of business. Networking, we all say, right? Which I really hate the word. I always say make friends. If you make friends, there's a big component, which is trust. Everything works on trust. If you want to have more money, if you have more clients, more business, you need friends. You need trust. You know what I mean? So build trust instead of just reaching out to people. And always be aware that you are asking something from them. So be aware that you need to give them something in return. There's always 2 sides to the story. You can't just expect people to give you everything. You always have to give something back as well, right? So always think about that. If you reach out to people and ask them for advice or anything, or for a meeting or whatever, be ready to offer something in return. That is just normal common sense. But people forget about this. They're like, oh yeah, I know this guy who lives in LA. Maybe you can help me out. So you reach out and you hope that this guy is going to arrange a meeting or invite you to some kind of party, right? But they have no incentive to do that, right? So think about that. Give them something in return. Have something where you know, okay, I can actually help this person as well, right? That is most of the time how things work and how actually stuff clicks. You know what I mean? If there's like, you give them something and they give you something, right? That's how it works. So be aware of that. But always reach out to people. Always. I reached out to a lot of people. I reached out through emails, sent a whole bunch of emails in the field where I knew I was working or can work, which is like the corporate events, the weddings, those kind of things. That's where the money also is. So I try to be a little bit more business savvy when it comes to that. But I still, to this day, reaching out to agencies, to people I really want to work with in the future. It doesn't mean it's going to happen right away, right? But at least I'm putting in the effort reaching out to people. And you should do the same. Keep at it. It's a daily grind and it will never stop. It's part of the business, right? Reach out to people. This is something I really live by and I tell everybody. Start somewhere and then optimize, right? In my case, I worked at a restaurant for 3 years, 4 days a week. And 2 days a week, I worked at this music school. I taught toddlers. They were 2 years old. Some of them were like 3, 4 years old. Kids, toddlers. You want to teach them music? That is a crazy job. I'm telling you. I did not have a car at that time. So I woke up at 6 in the morning, took that metro train. You know what I mean? Oh my God. And it took me 2 hours to get to Pasadena to teach kids at 8 a.m. in the morning. You know what I mean? I started off where I really didn't want to be at first. And then piece by piece, I optimized. So I started working 1 day less at the restaurant, did 1 day more at the music school because ultimately I wanted to do music, right? So it was the job was nicer. And then I had like 3 days of restaurant and 3 days of music school, right? And then I said, okay, I need 1 day to network or to make music or produce. So I'm going to cut 1 day of the music school. So I had 1 free day for music and 2 days music school. So I kept optimizing up to the point, obviously, where I gave up the music job because it didn't pay that well and I stayed at the restaurant for a while. It was really steady. I really enjoyed working there, right? So what I'm trying to say, keep optimizing. Even if you're not there where you want to be right now. And that's always the case. So I'm the same way. Right now it's the same thing. I'm working my ass off right now, but there are certain things I definitely want to optimize, right? You're never going to be where you want to be ultimately. It's always going to be a goal, right? And even if you hit that goal, you're going to have different goals. So keep optimizing, keep like exchanging small parts and make them better. You know what I mean? That's why I say optimizing. Start somewhere and then piece by piece, optimize. And the last tip today, how I broke through here in Los Angeles and it feels like home now and I really love being here, is realize that there are ups and downs. It cannot always go up, right? And I was very lucky at first, like the first 2 years were fine. Then COVID came, but that was for everybody. It's not an excuse, but it went down. I lost about $15,000 in savings because I had to pay my rent and food and everything. We were not allowed to work, right? Obviously as a musician, like no events, restaurant was closed. So all these things, right? I lost $15,000. So that was like a total down. But funny enough, the year later, everybody was double booked, including myself. So that was a crazy up. You know what I mean? The last 2 years were great. I cannot complain. I'm super happy that everything has been working out. Now this year is definitely slower than last year, right? And I have to reshift my thinking right now and thinking, okay, is there something I can optimize, something I could do better, right? So it's not always going to go up. You're not going to be here at 0 and tomorrow you're going to be like at 1 million. You know what I mean? Like it's going to be a zigzag. Be aware of that. If you're aware of that, you're going to be strong enough and your mental is going to be strong enough to endure these kind of moments, right? And they are always fleeting. And like my last video, if you approach everything with the positivity, it helps it so much. It makes it so much easier for you to go through these hardships, which will come, right? My friends, I'm ready for my concert. As you can see, I already have like my attire on. I hope these tips helped you to start off your new career, or maybe you can like grab something that is important to you. If you have any questions or anything that you really want to know, like how my life here started or whatever, hit it in the comments. I would love to hear from you guys. And please don't forget to like and subscribe because I want to build this up. And I hope you guys enjoy these videos and I can give a little bit of my knowledge to you. I really appreciate you guys being here. Thank you so much. And I'll see you in the next video.